Hi, I'm Stan Oda, the product manager for the ShockLine family of VNAs from Anritsu. Today I'd like to take you through the assembly process of our latest VNA, a distributed two-port VNA, the ME7868A. This system has the ability to put VNA ports up to 100 plus meters apart and still maintain phase synchronization for true vector S-parameter measurements.
Here's a block diagram of the 25-meter ME7868A showing the components and the connections we'll be walking through in this video. The system includes two MS46131A one-port VNAs with option 12, phase link, installed, two MN25131A multifunction extenders, two USB headsets, a USB keyboard, monitor, and mouse, the 25-meter phase link cable assembly, and various electrical and optical cables. The control computer is supplied by the customer and is not included in the items delivered with the ME7868A. Here's a block diagram of the 25-meter ME7868A showing the components and the connections we'll be walking through in this video. Here's how the ME7868A components get divided up into the near and far stations. The far station includes an MS46131A and MN25131A, miscellaneous cables, a USB monitor, keyboard, mouse, and headset. The USB components enable an operator to communicate with the near station as well as control the two-port VNA as if they were located at the control PC. The near station consists of an MS46131A and MN25131A, miscellaneous cabling, as well as an additional USB headset to complete the communications channel with the operator at the far station. Here are the components of the far station, excluding the MS46131A one-port VNA. Here is the 25-meter phase link cable assembly with a fiber cleaner. As we scroll to the right, we see the MN25131A, USB headset, and assorted cables for the near station. Here are the two MS46131A one-port VNAs with the included power supplies and USB cables. At the far end we have the user-supplied control computer that has ShockLine software running on it.
So now let's take a look at the assembly of the far station. So we have, for the far station operator, a USB monitor, keyboard, mouse, and headset for communications. So to hook this up, we take and use the USB monitor case here as a stand, and we can go ahead and set this up to support the monitor here. And then we can take our USB cable and connect it up to the monitor, and we have a USB type B over here, which we plug in over here. And then the other side of it is a dual type A USB connection, which we will go to our multifunction extender. We have a USB hub that we have in the front here, and we will use two of those connectors for the monitor. We will also hook up the USB connections to the keyboard into the hub, and we will also have the mouse hooked up to the USB hub as well. Now, to complete the connection, and not to forget the headset. So let's go ahead and hook up the headset as well to the front USB hub. We will also hook up a power supply to the multifunction extender on the rear, and we will also take and use the fiber extenders that are part of the multifunction extender to extend the USB communications from the hub to the extender. So we plug in the back, a connection which then goes to the hub in the rear here. So taking one of the MS46131As, we'll hook up the USB cable to the connector out back, and attach it here, screw it in, and we will take the connection and make the connection to the front here. So that completes all the USB connections to the far station multifunction extender. Now I'm going to take a power cable and we're going to hook it up from the 12 volts on the extender and hook it up to the rear so that we can power up the VNA. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, and we'll have power to the VNA and USB communications through here. That completes the wiring of everything in the far station. So now we're going to hook up the phase link cable assembly to the far station. So here we have the phase link cable assembly. We have several cables here. There are two cables, a phase link optical and phase link electrical, which will be hooked up to the rear of the MS46131A one-port VNA to as part of the synchronization technology of phase link. There are two additional optical cables that are used, that are extra, that we can use, one of which to extend the USB communications from the multifunction extender here through the cable to the multifunction extender on the near station and connect to the user PC. So let's take a look at this. One thing to note, it is critical that we keep all the optical connections clean. So a optical cleaner is included with the phase link cable, and we can use that to clean the optical connections by using the right attachment for the optical, and we can also use it to clean the SFP by doing again the right setting of the cleaner. So for the phase link connection, we need to connect these two cables to each of the VNAs. These connections do not go through the extenders. They don't go to the computer. They go directly between the pieces of hardware to synchronize the phase. There is a clamp here for strain relief, which can be clamped to the back of the unit. And we now have an optical cable here which takes this cable connection back to the multifunction extender to connect the USB extension to the other side. The reason we do this is so that you can take this VNA and separate it from the multifunction extender. There are a USB and power cable, and now we have the optical cable. The optical cable needs an optical coupler, which then hooks up to this, and then we have this going to a receptacle on the rear of the multifunction extender. So now the VNA is no longer tied to the extender. We have cabling that allows us to separate it from the extension. So that now completes the wiring of the far station. Let's take a look at the near station. The near station has another MN25131A multifunction extender to take care of the USB extension plus the power supply and the USB hub. We have an additional headset for communication between the near station and the far station. An optical jumper cable here to again complete the connection between the two extensions. Power supply cable as well as USB. So let's take a look at the wiring of the near station. So again, the headset basically goes into the USB hub up front. We have a USB connection to the computer, which we'll do in a minute. We have a connection that goes from the USB hub back to the extension back here. And we have the optical jumper cable, very much like the one on the far station, where we plug it into the rear and we take it and connect it up to the reel here, and we'll do that in a minute. We also have the power supply, which we plug in and plug it into the 12-volt supply up front. So now we have power on the VNA. So here's the other half of the 25-meter phase link cable assembly. Note that there's a green label here. The other side has a red label. It's not necessary that this actually go to the green connector. It's just a gentle reminder that we need each one to be on different colors. So again, we have our phase link connections, which are directly between the two VNAs. So we have the optical and the electrical connection here to the phase link connections. We have the strain relief clamp, which we can hook up to the back of the unit. And then we have the extension of the USB through the fiber, which we use the jumper cable for. And again, what this allows us to do is separate the VNA from the extender with the USB power and communications. So we hook up the USB control to the front, and that completes the wiring of the near station, except for the connection between the computer and the extender, which we are doing here. So hook it up to the computer. So that now is the connection between all of the components in the system. So let's take you through a little bit of checkout of the system now that it's completely wired together. So we're launching the software, and what comes up at the beginning is a configuration screen that allows you to choose which of these is port 1 or port 2, and which one is the master, which controls the signaling on the phase link connection between the two. This software is the same as the software that runs the whole ShockLine family of VNAs. So when we have new features or other improvements, we do it in one set of software, and it gets applied across the entire family. So you get the benefit of improvements that happen across the family. There is a couple warnings that remind the user about taking precautions with static, etc. And here we have the initial screen here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit preset so that we come up, and this is how it comes up.
One last software setup is required to configure the headsets so that they listen to each other. On Windows 10, bring up the sound menu as shown. Note the device name of the headset you are configuring. Select the Recording tab from the sound window and double-click the device you are configuring to open up a second window. From the second window, go to the Listen tab. Check the Listen to this device box, and in the Playback through this device pull-down menu, select the other headset. Click OK to close the second window. From the Recording tab of the first sound window, select the second headset and double-click it to open it. Go to the Listen tab and check the Listen to this device box again, and select the first headset in the pull-down Playback through this device menu. Click OK to close both windows. Now the first headset should be listening to the second headset and vice versa, allowing the operators at each station to communicate with each other. This completes the wiring assembly of the ShockLine ME7868A 25-meter 2-port VNA. The system is now fully functional and can now be calibrated and used to make 2-port S-parameter measurements. For more information, please see the online documentation available on the Anritsu website. Thank you.